Right now, Slush can play corner, safety, nickel for us. He's just competing. We have a lot of guys in different positions, just like we did last year, cross training. But he missed a day because he had to go home for a funeral. But he's been on the road, man, since he's been back.
Yeah, Sam, what would you say is the pecking order right now? It looks like Monteric and Hudson are out there running, and of course Greg. It looks like they got all returning guys with starting experiences. What's the pecking order? Maybe ones, twos, threes.
It's funny, man. Everyone's competing. Even Cat. Everybody just think Cat's gonna come out there and start. Everybody's competing for the number one spot. So right now, Bus, Hud, Day Bishop, Chase, all the young guys, whoever's performing, that's who's gonna start for us.
How do you feel about the group as a whole? Because it seems like a lot of guys have a lot of experience. How have you seen? I guess it's 3 days in, but how do you think they've progressed since the end of last season and to spring ball? I guess.
Man, the guys are doing well, but I'm gonna really say, man, it's because our receivers. Coach Guyton has those receivers competing every day. They're giving us looks that we didn't get to see last year because we didn't have fall camp. But we're excited, man. Our guys, the confidence that they built last year, they just keep building that and hopefully win some games.
Hey, Coach, what did you like about Busta's offseason, and just what do you think are maybe some things that can take him to the next level?
You can just tell he was in the weight room. Coach Walker got him bigger, faster. He just have to just trust what we're doing, trust his technique. But Buster, man, he's a football player. We missed him last year because I think Mississippi State, he missed 4 or 5 games because of concussion. But he's our guy. He's our number one corner.
Before you got here, depth in every position in the secondary was an issue year after year. Now, how do you feel about depth and like how many guys you'd want to play in a game?
And I'm saying me, but it's Coach Odom. He's the DC. But we try to have 2 safeties, 2 guys that can rotate, 4 corners, and 2 nickels. But right now, man, any of our guys can get out there and play right now. We're excited about our group.
You're hermetically sealed at practice. I'm not sure if there's an inch of skin showing. Is there a sun thing for you? I mean, what's going on?
No, I did it in college. I'm from the South, so the heat don't affect me. But Coach Pitt said it yesterday. When I get about 40, 50, the long sleeves will come off. But I love the heat, so it don't bother me at all.
What about the gloves now, too?
I just wear the gloves because last year we had COVID and now it's coming back. But it's because I signal, so I just try to keep the guys in the season mode.
How does it affect your defensive backs with so much 4-man front as they're trying to play this year, and just kind of how does that work for y'all?
We did it last year also. It's just our D-line. Our D-line is better. Guys are working. We're able to go to 3 down, 4 down, Okie front, Steeler front. As long as the D-line is doing what they're supposed to do, we're okay.
Maybe you could talk about your thoughts on Hudson and maybe where he's at now, how he's progressed. Everybody remembers the Ole Miss game, but since then, and maybe the same thing on Greg. If you could talk about each of those guys separately.
So Hudson, he worked this summer. You can tell he got bigger. Coach Walker got him faster. Just confidence. I think to beginning of the season, he lost some confidence. The Ole Miss game, confidence shot up. And then guys started throwing at him. So it's just this offseason, I just think he was working on just confidence. You're going to get beat. If you guys play DB, I promise you'll get beat too. You just got to continue to just let it happen. Greg Brooks is by far probably one of our leaders in the room. He's unbelievable. Right now, first 3 days, I think him and Burks is going at it back and forward. But Greg is, as long as he has the confidence, Greg is probably one of the best DBs in the country.
What is it about him you really like as a player?
Quick twitch. He's a football player. A lot of people don't know Greg Brooks' dad played in the NFL. So he's from a football family, and he just studies football all day. He loves it. Sometimes he texts me at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. Hey, Coach, you up? I'm like, man, I'm trying to go sleep. And he's just asking me questions about different formations.
Trent Gordon, how's he coming along for you, Coach? I mean, is he adjusting pretty fast coming from a different defense at Penn State?
At first, it was a little slow because things that they did there was different, but he's fit right in. We got a model. We say in our room, we all we got, we all we need. And guys are helping him out. I think he lives with, Cataline, so those guys are able to just connect.
From a recruiting standpoint, you've got some pretty big background areas. Houston, played at TCU, so you got Dallas. I don't know how much connection you have to New Orleans. I know you were born there. What do you bring to the table as far as a recruiter? What's your approach, given your background and everything?
I just work. Just being on the staff with Coach Pitt, he always talks about recruiting. Recruiting is something you have to do every day. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to walk across, text recruits, get in there, watch tape. Tonight, text them because we can't call them. I think you just got to outwork people. That's all I do is just talk to them each and every day, text the parents, That's how recruiting is.
You got your first group here, I guess, with Kiwan and Chase. I don't know if I'm missing somebody, but
Jaden Johnson, Jermaine Hamilton
yeah.
came early.
yeah. What are your thoughts on how those guys have started out?
Jaden and Jermaine, we got to see those guys in spring. So those guys now, you can tell they was here in spring. Chase and Kiwan, from the past 3 days, those guys look pretty good. We're moving those guys cross-training corner, nickel. So we're excited about both of those guys also.
I had a question about Day. We heard you say numerous times you're the fastest guy on the field. Can you just talk about how he's doing and, you know, the need to be telling him that?
Just, I think sometimes, man, you have speed and sometimes you forget your technique. And that is probably one of our fastest guys in the secondary, probably on the team. And so we just always breathe in, because one thing, if you're good at something, you're going to be weak at something. So I always try to, hey, you're good at this. We can work on your weakness, but remember, you're fast, so trust your technique and everything else will work out.
Sam has told us how important it was to keep Barry Odom on the staff. Obviously, you're close with him. For year two, retaining him and where you guys are in the Sam Pittman regime, how would you say you've made improvements for year two?
That's hard to say because I've been with Coach Odom now for 6 years. He's a worker, man. We were on break this summer. He was coming up with different things, different defenses he wanted to run. I'm so glad he stayed, man. We don't want him to leave. As long as Coach Pitt wants him here, we want him here too. Don't leave, Coach Odom.
And just the program building Sam has done, where you guys are 1 year into this.
Man, Coach Pittman's probably the best head coach in the country. Just the way that, if you guys are at practice, the way he talks to our guys. It's true love. You know, a lot of coaches just speak about it, but Coach Pitt shows it each and every day. I think he's the best leader, man, that I've been around besides Coach Odom. Those two together is unbelievable.
We talked to Sam a little bit about this a couple of days ago. You guys, about the coaching staff, not that you guys don't get mad or get on them or whatever, but that it's a lot more positive reinforcement than, you know, just yelling at guys and using a lot of bad words and stuff. Just wondering what your take is on that.
No, it's something that Coach Pitt said when we got the job here. He didn't hire guys to scream at guys, coach them. Guys are going to mess up. It's college football. They're not getting paid $20 million in the NFL. Guys in the NFL mess up. So if you coach them and talk to them, you'll get more out of them. You don't have to cuss them out, disrespect them. Those guys have families. Some of them come from different backgrounds. So if you just talk to them, get to know them, anyone to do anything for you when they know you care about them.
And with this being your second group, with most of these cornerbacks and, you know, most of them being back, just how much better, not that you felt bad last year because you guys obviously did a good job, but how much better do you feel about the group?
I'm still, last year still get me, sometimes gave up a few 50 pieces. So guys are improving though. Jamil, Coach Walker, and his staff this summer did an amazing job. You can just tell by our guys' strength, confidence. But we're excited. We're only day 3, so I don't want to sit up here and say, hey, they're up here. We still got a lot of improvement to do.
Sam, I know Coach Pittman the other day was saying how Traylon Burks is a lot more in condition and everything like that. I was wondering what your perspective is. Does he look like he's better than he was last year?
Yes. Not saying last year he wasn't, but you can tell this summer, like I said, Coach Walker and his staff, Julia Nutrition, you can just tell he's eating right, but Coach Guyton has him playing at a high level.
I guess there's been a lot of talk about who's going to be that number 2 guy next to Traylon. Is anybody, the receiver, standing out to you so far in camp?
It's funny. I was just in the locker room, Coach Guyton. The whole group. Right now, those guys are giving us everything that we can handle. You can't just focus on Burks. Everybody out there is making plays, so they have a lot of young guys that's making plays, but the older guys, Timo, Knox, Warren has been in and out, but those guys, man, those guys are a really good group.
Michael Schur, he's obviously a guy you know well too from Mizzou days. He's a pretty young guy. I guess you're pretty young too. But how do you think Michael's transition from being, I guess, an analyst or whatever to being a position coach? I think he's only 26 or something.
I believe 25, 26. He's doing amazing, man. The thing about Scheer, Coach Scheer, that a lot of guys don't know. My first year in coaching, he was a player, and he got to see us work. Coach Scheer's up here 5 a.m., 4 a.m. working to make sure his guys are in the right position, making plays. I think he's doing amazing for his first year.
When you were around him at Mizzou, do you remember thinking, wow, this guy will be a pretty good coach? And maybe what he did here early on?
It's crazy. You don't even think about it because he was a great player. So it was just like we wanted him on the field. Then I think he had an ACL injury, but I can't speak more highly of the guy. Coach Scheer is really good.
Hey, Sam,
Tom.
Who of your DBs might be good return guys? Are some of them more? Are y'all doing returns yet? And who-
I think Coach Spohn have guys out there catching balls now. I know Chase Larry did it in high school. Dede Bishop did it last year. Nick Turner. I'm trying to think who else. Keywan Parker did it also. I think we have about 4 or 5 guys in our room that can return kicks.
Coach, I think Kari Johnson had a PBU in some of the one-on-ones that we saw. Just what jumps to you about his skill set, or what do you want to see more of from him?
Kyrie, man, it's funny. His attention span, I joke with him all the time. Once he flips that, Kyrie can be one of our best corners here also. A lot of people slept on him. He's from Connecticut. No one talks about someone from Connecticut. But his confidence in being around Buster, Dede, Hudson, I think those guys keep, Kyrie, you can do it. You can do it. He's building confidence each day.